Guys, in today's session, we are going to discuss about import sets. Okay, we are going to discuss about import sets. Fine. Okay, we'll look into it in the end of the session. Okay, we'll look into it in the end of the session. So we are actually discussing import sets, guys. Guys, remember, whenever we import the data, whenever we load the data, an import set will be created. Okay. So every time when you load the data, an import set will be created. Okay. Whenever we load the data into ServiceNow, an import set will be created. Okay, got it right? Every time when you load the data, an import set will be created. Guys, I'm going to a whiteboard to explain you better. Okay, guys, client has given you an Excel sheet to you. Client has given you an Excel sheet to you, and he has asked you to load that Excel sheet data into ServiceNow. Client has given you an Excel sheet, and he has asked you to load that data into ServiceNow. Guys, first of all, remember, whenever we load the data, first of all, we have to load the data into the temporary table. First of all, we have to load the data into temporary table. Guys, this Excel sheet we should not directly load into target table. We cannot directly load into target table. First of all, remember, whenever we have to load the data, first of all, we have to load into the temporary table. After loading the data into the temporary table, and this transform map will run. This will actually transform the data into target table. Okay. So remember this point, guys. Whenever we load the data, first of all, it will be loaded into the temporary table. Guys, we can call it as staging table. Staging table is nothing but a temporary table. Import set table is nothing but a temporary table. So you can call staging table, import set table, or temporary table, anything. You load the data into this. This transform map will run. This transform map will actually transform the data into target table. Okay, clear, right? Okay. Now, now, just a moment, guys. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I am going to finance cases. I am going to the finance cases. So there are how many finance cases here? 56, right? I am downloading all these finance cases in the Excel sheet. Okay, I am downloading all these finance cases in the Excel sheet. Oh. So now I am actually deleting all these finance cases, guys. Okay. Uh, the six also I am deleting. In the Excel sheet, we have only 50. So, but here in the finance cases, there are no records here. Zero records. Okay. Now, let us imagine client has given me this Excel sheet with me. Imagine client has given me this Excel sheet with me. And he has asked me to upload this data into ServiceNow. So these details should be loaded into the finance cases table. These details should be loaded into the finance case table. Okay. First of all, whenever I upload this sheet into ServiceNow, the data will be first created into this temporary table. There is a temporary table. In the temporary table, these 50 records in the Excel sheet will be created here first. Then we will run the transform map. Okay. So in the transform map, we can check if there is any invalid data. We can do validations here. And then finally, we will actually load the data into the target table. Target table here is finance case table. Target table here is finance case table. Clear, right? First of all, to do that, I am going to the load data. I am going to the load data here. I am creating a temporary table. Import set table is nothing but a temporary table. Temporary finance case table I am creating here. Temporary finance case table I am creating here. Okay. I have actually selected the Excel sheet here. Clicking on submit. When I click on submit, I loaded the data, right? First import set will be created. You can see here, go to the import sets for this data load. right click on the link and open the link in the new tab. So this is the import set that is created. What is it telling? Loaded. Import set is created. Loaded data. Loaded data. You can see here, guys, total 56 records. Huh? Okay, that means 56 records are downloaded, looks like. Total 56 records. You can see here, row is starting with 0. Okay, row 1, row 2. You can see other field values as well here. Additional comments assigned to assignment group, caller, category, whatever the details that you see in the Excel sheet. You can see additional comments, caller, email, location, department assigned to assignment group. Okay, assignment group, priority, total amount created. All these fields that you see in the Excel sheet, those fields you see it in the temporary table. You can see additional comments assigned to assignment group, caller, category, comment, configuration item, contact type, department. So all the fields that you see in the Excel sheet are here. Okay. So let me just push the number field to right side. Okay. These are the finance case numbers. So whenever we loaded the data is actually stored in the temporary finance case table. Guys, why do we call this as temporary table? What is the difference between normal table and temporary table? In the temporary table, data will be available only 7 days. After 7 days, data will be deleted automatically. In the finance case table, we created finance case records around 2 months ago, right? But still records are there. But if you create a if you create a record in the finance case table now, the temporary finance case table now, if you see after 7 days, the record won't be appearing here. What is the difference between temporary? How can I identify that this is a temporary table or this is a uh, target table? Guys, temporary tables, let me just go to the tables here. Temporary tables always extend import set row table. The tables which are extending import set row tables are called temporary tables. All these are temporary tables, guys. There are 25 tables which are temporary tables, which are extending import set row table. Temp finance case table is actually extending import set row table. The table which is extending import set row table is called temporary table. Okay, clear, right? Table is created or not? Okay, okay, fine. So here, this is actually temporary finance case. We loaded the Excel sheet and it has created an import set. It has actually created all those Excel sheet data into temporary tables. Okay. So here we have to create a transform map here. The transform map is this one. This is the transform map. So this transform map should be between temporary table and finance case table. Temporary finance case table and regular finance case table. Now I am going to create a transform map between temporary finance case table and target finance case table. So creating the temp transform map, you can see source table is temporary finance case. Target table will be finance case. Okay. Okay. I am creating a transform map here between temporary finance case and finance case table. So we will come to these fields later, guys. Run business rule, enforce mandatory fields, copy empty fields. What is this and all? I'll come to this one later. So here you have to go to map field option. You can do the field mapping manually, guys. Temporary table finance case number with the target table finance case number field, I can map it. Okay, I am clicking on new here. So source field means temporary table field. Number, target table field, finance case table field number. I am mapping this table, temporary finance case table number field with the target table finance case number. Okay. So you can do the field mapping manually. You can also do the field mapping automatically as well. How do you do the field mapping automatically? You can see auto map mapping assist, auto map matching fields here. Guys, here there is a prerequisites for this one. Excel sheet field names, Excel sheet field names, ServiceNow target field names, both should be same. Excel sheet column names, let us say guys, additional comments. In the finance case table also, there should be additional comments field. Email. In the finance case table also, there should be email field. If the field labels are matching, mapping will be automatically happening. So here I am just clicking on auto map matching fields here. Field maps created. You can see here, temporary table contact type is mapped with the target table finance case table contact type. Temporary table color is mapped with the target table color. Temporary table total amount is mapped with the target table total amount. Okay, field mapping has happened automatically. Guys, suppose this Excel sheet column name, ServiceNow target table column name, both are not matching. Let us say here, the sheet name here is caller email. This column name here is caller email. But in ServiceNow, there is no caller email field. In ServiceNow, there is no caller email field. Then mapping will not happen. In that case, what we should do? That is where you should do mapping assist. That is where you should do mapping assist here. Hmm? So category, Okay. Is there any category here? So this category is mapped already. This category is actually a different one. What is this? Let me cancel this one. If you want to do the manual mapping, you can also do the manual mapping as well using mapping assist. Okay. We have done the field mapping here, guys. First of all, what we have done, we have loaded the data, and those data is actually first imported into the temporary table. Then once the data is loaded into the temporary table, and it has actually, we have created a transform map between temporary table and target table. Okay. So then what you can do, now you can just click on transform button. You can click on transform. Okay, this is the transform map. So it is showing completed with errors. It is showing completed with errors. So we'll go to the import set, guys. We'll go to the import set. We will see here what are the errors and all. Go to the import set rows here. So operation against business rule attachment mandatory. Okay, before business rule is working from import sets as well or not? I told you before business rule will work from all other sources is what I told you. From the Excel sheet also it is working or not. So here no record is created because of that business rule. We'll deactivate that business rule first. We deactivated that, right? Now, guys, we have already created a temporary table. We have already created a transform map. Okay. No need to create second time. Clear, right? Now, what I am doing is first I am going to the load data now. Load data. So we will select the temporary table here. Existing table, temporary finance case. Okay. Okay. Clear, right? So this is the temporary table. Earlier we have used create table, guys. We were creating temporary table as it was the first time. We have already temporary table, right? We are using the same temporary table now. I am just submitting this one. Whenever this time I am loading the data, right, import set will be created. Okay. So this is the second import set. This was the previous one. This is the second import set. For every data load, there will be an import set, guys. Okay. So loaded data. You can see the data in the temporary table. You can see temporary finance cases. You can see the temporary that Excel sheet data in the temporary table. Now what you will do, this time you don't create a transform map because there is already a transform map, right? You can just click on run transform here. If you click on run transform here, okay, go to the transform history. Or you can go to the import set. You can see this is called import set. I set means import set. You can go to the import set here. So what is it telling? State inserted. Inserted. Record created. Inserted. Now you go to the finance case table. You can see all 56 records you are able to see here. We deleted in the beginning. Now we are able to see all 56 records here. See, you are able to understand. First of all, we loaded this data into temporary table. We created a transform map. We run the transform map. The data is actually now available in the target table. Guys, always remember, if you have to load the data in ServiceNow, you cannot directly load the data into ServiceNow target tables. You have to go from the temporary table, then transform map, then target table. If you directly allow them to load the data into target table, data will be corrupted. Data will be corrupted, guys. If you directly allow them to load the data into target tables, data will be corrupted. To avoid that, first we will load the data into the temporary table. Then we run the transform map. Then we will load the data into target table. Okay. Now, guys, I am loading the data second time, guys. Okay. This is the third time, right? First time before business tool was not allowing me to create the record because attachment was mandatory. So this is the temporary table. Load the data. Import set is created. This is the import set that is created in the loaded state. So this is the loaded data. Okay. Then I am actually running the transform map. Okay. Now you go to the finance cases list, guys. So total you are able to see 112 records. Duplicate records are created. Group by number. For every number, there are actually two records. For every with every finance case number, there are two records. Okay, how to avoid that duplicate records? How to avoid the duplicate records? How to stop duplicate records creation? With the same number, there should be only one record. With the same number, there should not be two records. With the same number, there should not be more than one record. I am deleting all the records, okay? Is the topic interesting? I'll make it complex. I am going to load the data now, guys. So no records in the finance case table. Running the transform map. Transform. Now you will be able to see those 56 records here. Okay. Guys, when I am loading the data second time, with the same number, there should not be two records created. For that, you have to open the transform map, guys. So we have to go to the transform map that we created. Okay. In the transform map, there is a coalesce option here. I am making number as coalesce, guys. Number as coalesce true. Okay. Number as coalesce true here. What exactly this does? When it is loading the data, with the same number, if there is already a finance case record or not. With the finance, let us imagine with this number, if there is already a finance case record in the service now or not, it will check. If there is already a record, it will update the record. If there is no record in service now, it will create a new record so that it will avoid the duplicate records. So let us imagine this number. So it will check this number is there in service now or not. It will check first here. Okay, this number is there already in service now. We will update that record. Okay, let us imagine this number is not there in service now. It will create the record so that it will avoid the duplicate records. With the same number, it will not create more than one records. With the same number, there will be only one record. So that is why what I have done, I have made number as coalesce field here. In the transform map, I have made number as coalesce. Okay. Now in the Excel sheet, what I am doing is, okay, I change the description, guys. Okay. So this time when I load the data, these numbers are already there in ServiceNow, right? These numbers are already there in ServiceNow. This time it should not create new records. It should update the existing records. Let me just save this one. I am going to load the data now. Run transform. Okay. Transform here. Go to the import set and check here. You can see updated. Earlier it was actually created. This time it is actually updated. This is actually showing updated because of coil is true on the number field. Okay. Clear, right? Okay. Now I am going to load the data again now. Guys, in the Excel sheet, I did not make any change. Same data I am loading again. Same data I am loading again. Okay. This time, what is it telling? Ignored because there is no change. We did not make any change, right? There is no field value change here. That is why it is ignored. Remember, whenever we are loading the data, it will check with this particular number because we made number as coalesce. With this number, if there is already a record, it will update that record. With this number, if there is not already a record, it will create the record. With this number, if there is already a record but no changes found, means it will be ignored. Now, as there is no changes, as there are no changes, it has ignored. Now, let me just make the change here. Load data. As we have made the changes now, it will be updated now. Now you are able to see updated here. Go to the finance cases and see description might have been updated. There is description field. You can see description is updated here. Okay. So guys, remember in the transform map, we made a number as coalesce field. We can make multiple fields as coalesce. What happens if you make multiple fields as coalesce fields? I made a number as a coalesce. I am also making I am also making color as a coalesce. So I am making two field values as coalesce. What exactly that means, guys? Remember, remember here number as coalesce as well as color as coalesce. Both number and color value should match. Both number and color value should match. Only then record will be updated. Okay, if both number and color doesn't match, a new record will be created. Number is matching, color is not matching means new record will be created. Remember, if you can apply multiple coalesce on the transform map, guys. If you apply multiple coalesce on the transform map, this field value and this field value both should match to update the record. Okay. If number is matching and color is not matching means it will create a new record. If number is matching, color is matching, both are matching, it will update the record. Got it, right? So you can apply multiple coalesce values, multiple fields as coalesce, guys. Okay. So if you apply multiple coalesce, what happens? Let us say number value, color value, we made it as coalesce. Number should match, color should match. Only then record will be updated. If number is matching, color is not matching, it will create the record. Okay. If both are not matching, it will create the record. Got it, right? Okay. Fine. Mm, okay. In the Excel sheet, in the Excel sheet, is there any color field as such here? In the color field, I am just passing, I am just passing uh, whose name will pass? Ratan Tata sir name pass. Ratan Tata name sir, sir name I am actually passing, guys. But Ratan Tata sir name is not there in my service now. Ratan Tata sir doesn't have user account in my service now. I'll show you if you don't believe me. In the user administration, so I don't have user account for Ratan Tata sir. Okay. So, but you are actually passing Ratan Tata sir name here in the caller field. What should I do? Should I create a new user account for Ratan Tata sir? Hmm? Or should I skip the Ratan Tata sir name? Or if any invalid name is coming that is not there in service now, I should not accept. Which one should I do? Hmm? So you have choice actions, guys. In the transform map, if you go to the caller field, in the caller field you are passing, right? In the caller field you are passing Ratan Tata, right? If you go to the caller field, in the caller field you have choice action here, guys. You have choice action here. If the choice action is selected as create, Ratan Tata sir user account will be created. I'll show you now. I am loading this data now, guys. So we'll now see, you can see here, remaining are ignored, only this one is updated. You can see here, Ratan Tata user account would have been created. So Ratan Tata sir user account is created. You can see just now. Because we have selected choice action as create here. Hmm? If you have selected choice action as create, if the user account is not there, it will create a user account. Got it right? Okay, now I am actually deleting Ratan Tata sir user account from here. Okay. If the unknown values are coming, let us say Ratan Tata user account is not there in service now. That is an unknown name in my service now. So in that case, what should I do? I should ignore the field mapping. I should ignore the field mapping. Then in that case, you will actually select the choice action as ignore. So now guys, I am passing it as Ratan Tata, but let me just change the uh, short description here. Description here. Description I changed. Okay. I am going to load the data, guys. So here, this time also I am passing Ratan Tata, but Ratan Tata user account is not there in service now. I have selected choice action here as ignore this time. In that case, Ratan Tata name will be ignored. Ratan Tata field value will not be updated. That caller value will not be updated as Ratan Tata. His user account will not be created because I have selected choice action as ignore here. Okay. Run transform. Transform. So now, guys, we will see if the user account is created or not. User account is not created. Okay. So we'll go to the import set. So what is it telling? Updated, but not color is not updated. You can see color is not updated here. Color is ignored because we have selected choice action as ignore. If unknown values are coming, if you want to reject the update, total update, no update should happen. Okay. So color field is mandatory. Okay. If you want to enforce mandatory fields, you can enforce mandatory fields. That comes under next session. If the mandatory fields are not coming, we can actually stop the data processing. Okay. So here, if you select choice action as reject, reject means here, if the unknown value is coming, like Ratan Tata user account is not there in ServiceNow, that is an unknown value to ServiceNow. If the unknown value is coming, don't do any update. Any update. No update should happen. Okay. Go to load data. You can see it is saying skipped. Reference field value for caller rejected Ratan Tata. The record is skipped, guys. Skipped means because you have selected choice action as reject. If the value Ratan Tata is not there in service now, record is skipped. Skipped means it has ignored the total record, not the field. In the previous case, only field is ignored. Here in this case, total record is ignored. Total record is skipped. You understand, right? See, created, inserted means if the record not found, with the finance case number, if the record not found, it will actually create the record. With the finance case number, if the record found, it will update the record if you change any values. Okay. If the finance case number, if it is already there but no changes found means it will be ignored. Okay. If unknown values are coming, if you have selected choice action as reject, total record will be skipped. Got it right? Do you understand the difference between choice action create, choice action ignore, choice action reject? Okay. You have selected choice action as create because if the unknown value is coming into service now, create that record. If you have selected choice action ignore means if the unknown value is coming, ignore only that field map. Only caller field map will be ignored. If you have selected choice action as reject, if the unknown value is coming, total reject, total record, you can skip it. Okay. So guys, in the transform up scripting part, we'll be discussing in tomorrow session. Okay. Okay. Now I will allow you to ask the script action question, guys.